My relationship with social media has changed a lot over the past many years. And a big reason is understanding my consumption habits and how I can use that to my advantage. Social media is not a living thing. It's a tool. We have the choice to use it. It is a open sort of ended arena in that people can create all sorts of content and people can put on and put up, whatever material that they want to promote. But it's for us to determine what is good for us, what we like, what we want to consume. And so for the longest time, what I used to do, which probably a lot of you do or have done, is I just basically used apps, scrolled through apps, without any design or intention on what or why I'm consuming this material. You go down the rabbit hole in scrolling endlessly, but also running into a lot of content that is, to put it simply, addictive, distracting. Sometimes it really actually is, it brings you down. It's a little depressing, right? There's a lot of content. I'm not making any kind of judgment on people putting up whatever content they're putting up. It's for them to decide if it feels right for them and if they're trying to communicate something. But it really is important to consider what you're looking at, what you're watching, and what you're consuming, because that has a huge effect on your mental state. I actually talked about this in another video. Once I started paying attention to that, then I realized, okay, this is not working. So there's a couple of options, and I've tried all of them. You can completely get off these apps, which is an option, which I think from time to time, and actually for some people that might actually be the best solution. Sometimes if you're one of those people, and in certain ways I have, there's certain kind of habits that way, like if I'm not able to manage myself, control myself in certain things, I just don't allow myself to get around it and have access to it. So maybe consider deleting the apps if you find that it's really taking from your time, your focus, your energy. But the other thing that I started doing, which it took a little bit of work, but it's worth the effort, is I actively started curating my social feeds. And some of these apps, they're smart. They don't make it easy for you to curate the feeds. I started doing that because there was a lot of stuff that was just coming, and the way these algorithms and feeds work is if everybody is getting onto something, it starts getting pushed out to everybody else, because the typical way that this learning algorithm works is, okay, a lot of people are into this. This is probably something that a lot of other people are going to be into, and they keep promoting it. And I know there's more nuance to that. It looks at user patterns and different topics that people are interested in. But in general, it's very tricky and very difficult. Like I realize even if when I keep my feed clean, things will still come in. New stuff that I'm not interested in, that I know that I'm trying to avoid or just not, get hooked to, will still trickle in. And it's not ideal, but the responsibility is on us to actively sort of manage and maintain our feed in a way where it's giving you content that you want to consume, that is beneficial to you, that you find productive. So that is something that I really started doing, and it made a huge difference. So now when I consume, I really consume to sort of get tidbits of information. If I'm following people, it's really people that I'm trying to learn from. And again, this obviously varies, right? Everybody is not trying to, their focus isn't like a self-improvement thing like mine, or, you might really be using social media for entertainment, and that's totally fine. Whatever works for you, but just be mindful. That's all it is, right? Because these things have a way of taking control of us without us even realizing it. And we can complain about it. We can say, these things are being designed in such a way, and I know that's a whole different arena. But these things are being designed in such a way it's to capture our attention, to get us hooked, to hold us in place, and all that may be true. Ultimately, we have a choice. We have that freedom to change and recalibrate and course correct on things, right? So if you find something is taking you down the rabbit hole, try and stop yourself and try and clean that habit up. With this social media thing, I can't really say if it's good or bad, because I've gotten both out of it. Some of the greatest pieces of insight and information and motivation and just some happy stuff, positive stuff, have come off of social media for me. And in the same vein, there's a lot of stuff that will make you feel depressed, lost, agitated, combative. It's not a good or bad thing. It is what it is. It's what you make of it. If you are using social media, and if you're trying to find a way to navigate your content consumption and habits and utilizing it for your own benefit, take the time to actively curate your feeds, right? Be mindful of what you're consuming. So this way, you're consuming social media. Social media is not consuming you.